All right. Primal Diet Experience Report 2. And this is going to be from May 2022 to August 2022. And I'm just going to start going down a big list I got of updates. Try not to forget anything like I did last time. Let's get cracking. So here's my points so far for this kind of second report that I've noted and experienced. I think beginning of June, I believe beginning of June, I had the most extreme detox I've probably ever had in my life. And the detox included stomach pains, huge digestive bloating, multiple trips to the toilet for about a whole week. This whole week I had a mixture of symptoms though. It wasn't just toilet trips. So first what triggered it, and I'll get into the symptoms. I had a glass of milk kefir that was homemade by myself. I did the saliva technique, put it into the milk and then clabbered it, made it into kefir for like a 4 to 5 day kefir, I think it was. Then put it in the fridge. Then I think like a couple days into the kefir making, I tried drinking it with an egg mixed in it, a raw egg. And then about 30 minutes later after I drank it, I started getting immediate like fever symptoms. I started getting the chills down my spine and started sweating like crazy. And I was like, oh, okay, it feels like a fever. Small detox, whatever. Didn't even link it to the kefir or an egg at all, I think. But I think what happened is that I believe the kefir and egg, something in that combination triggered a huge pulling of toxins or huge detox release of something. Because I do recall like a day or two before, it was one of those situations where I let really loose and had a cheat meal, and there was this dip that I ate that had like 50 terrible ingredients in it. I read it and I said, screw it. And I took the risk. So I ate that. It's like some sort of buffalo dip or something. And then fast forward to now, 2 days later, I had the kefir and the egg. And I think that just started pulling all those nasty oils and processed vegetable oils and processed like whey and all that kind of stuff that was in it. It started pulling it out, I think. I can't be 100% sure, but that's the only thing I can attribute to. And I also had kombucha 2 days before the kefir, so maybe the kombucha did it. Something in my system didn't want in that kombucha. And to shorten, I had the fever first after the milk and kefir, and then or the kefir and the egg, and then I started moving up the ladder with symptoms more intensively. Like I started getting headaches. I started getting all kinds of just like soreness in the body. It was super sore. I think it was from the fever. And then is when the insane diarrhea happened for about a week. I had it every single day, probably like 12 trips to the toilet every day. It was insane. I couldn't move, I couldn't walk out unless I was going to the toilet. That's the only thing I moved for. I lost a lot of weight. I lost probably like 10 pounds, and I'm already really light. I was 148-ish at the time, 5'9", and lost 10 pounds, and I was already not, optimal weight at all. So you can imagine how thin I was. Luckily, I've gained back the weight now, being in August, but I'll get into that in a second. So yeah, after that detox, and the cheese helped when I was detoxing to take out the toxins, but there was just so much detox, I think, going on that I couldn't eat enough cheese. At least I thought I couldn't get enough. So I let it all go out, diarrhea. Just had to take the brute force with it. Didn't take any meds. Was really close to taking meds. Some I forgot what it was called, Motrin or something. It stops the fecal matter from coming out. But I was like, you know what, power through. So I powered through it. Took no meds. I'm proud of that. And then, yeah, that was the detox, the wild detox. Moving on to small points / bigger points. The drinking of raw eggs is still making me have a gag reflex. It's really hard for me to drink that still. Just straight out of glass, Rocky style, or sucking out of the egg like a lot of other people do. Still can't do it. There's something about it that's making me gag, and I'm trying to push through it. It's really hard though. Right now, to combat that, I'm just doing egg yolks with the whites cooked, kind of like a fried egg. I cook it in like a little griddle. I don't use too much butter to cook it, but yeah, that's kind of my one little setback is since I'm not completely raw with that, cooking the whites, eating the yolks raw though, sunny side up. The weird thing though is I can drink raw eggs and not make me gag if it's in a milkshake or if it's in a lube formula. When it's in combination with things, I can slug it down. And going into the lube formula, it's strange that I can drink it with one egg every time and have no stomach pains or any sort of immediate detox effect or symptom. But when I have a lube formula with 2 eggs, that thing causes intense stomach pain. And I get immediate, just like I need to hit the toilet or I need to let out some gas or something. It's really strange. I think just the 2 eggs, 1 egg in my body is now getting used to. It's not, you know, it's able to assimilate the egg, but it's not like pulling huge toxins out because it can handle that 1 egg. But the 2 eggs, I think it's just so much raw fats from that egg, those 2 eggs, that it's pulling out and detoxing as well, I think, some toxins. Because I think I have a lot of stomach toxicity still. Accounting for most of my body toxicity, probably. Moving on, my body feels bigger and looks bigger, which I've been really happy with. And I look broader in the chest area, which is awesome. I've never looked broad in the chest area. Always had a flat chest like all my life. And then my traps have felt bigger naturally without flexing. Like they round up now, feel stockier. That's a good feeling. So I'm going for as well. I'm trying to bulk up right now. And I found push-ups weren't cutting it. They, like I said in my last report, it's like, oh yeah, I don't need to hit the gym, but like the push-ups just weren't doing it. They weren't testing my hypertrophy enough, or they won't. In a way, they weren't testing my muscles enough to make them work hard enough to break down the muscle fibers and build. So I was like, all right, let me try a little routine, really high intensity one. It's called the 8x8. So it's 8 sets of 8 reps of every exercise. And it's only like a 30 second to a minute interval break between each set of those 8 sets for an exercise. It's very high intensity, minimal break time. So you can keep your muscles kind of stimulated and knock out some high intensity stuff to trigger. I think it's to trigger your muscles to adapt faster. I want my arms bigger. That's like always the last thing. It's being able to be built up compared to my other muscles. The arms just take forever for me. So I'm gonna keep working on this 8x8, do some more arm stuff, and hopefully get some bigger arms. A little wider arms to accommodate more strength. And yeah, that's the workout routine right now. Maybe basketball once a week to just keep a little cardio. But I'll come back to stamina and stuff in a bit. Next, doing raw cream now, finally, for the first time over this past 3 months. I think the raw cream has been really helping me gain weight. It's also very filling, so I think those go hand in hand, satiating. I put those in the milkshakes, and I am super full, but I know it's helping me uptake more of my cells as far as getting fats into the cells, helping me gain weight, I think, a lot since I've been doing that. I just feel broader after I've introduced raw cream. And then besides cream, another new thing was tried juicing celery for the first time. That came out really bitter and numbed my whole mouth, which I did not enjoy. Even after letting it separate, like the water separating from the celery pulp that was left in there, tried drinking that water at the top, still bitter and numb. So it could be the celery that I got. It's not as organic as I thought it was. And I'm gonna need to maybe find better celery. Maybe there's some pesticides that I didn't clean off with, like a lot of autogenous Primal dieter people clean off with whey and some other stuff to get the pesticides or whatever is on it, get that crap off. So maybe I need to do that. Or try juicing other veg. Probably need to do that too. Going into thirst and dehydration, my thirst and dehydration has drawn me to like instinctively eat a lot of tomatoes. That has been a game changer recently. Like I've been eating tomatoes like after, like I'll do a little piece of cheese to get some detox, or I'm not get some detox, but get some toxins out of the system. And then I'll eat a tomato like right after that, and it's super hydrating. Like weird, because I like hated tomatoes actually for a while before Primal diet, and I eat them like it's nothing, raw by themselves. Just chomp one down, and I'll feel hydrated. I'm ready to start the day. Been doing a little cucumber the past couple weeks. Cucumber's okay, but I prefer the tomato for hydration right now. So that's really like the main thing I've been doing for veg juice is tomatoes. That's it. Until I try more juicing. Instead of milk for hydration, like I was doing the first kind of report couple months from the March time, instead of milk, now I've been changing to tomatoes instinctively. I didn't do that on purpose. It was just something I was like, hey, well, I think I read about it and I was like, oh yeah, that does sound good, or something like that. So I went to get tomatoes. Milk I usually use for just milkshakes and building remedies now, muscle building remedies. My eyes haven't really changed, which kind of sucks. I thought it would change within 3 months because I've been doing a lot of cheese trains, especially during that massive detox period. So much cheese trains. I thought my eyes would have, cleared up a little bit after that huge detox for a week. I didn't really clear up that much. So maybe it needs to be longer term and more strict PD, Primal diet, more raw. I've been eating more butter, and I found that makes me more calm, which is really nice. Eating more eggs makes me calm as well. At least the egg yolks. Right after those, any of those with a combination or by themselves, immediately calm, which is awesome. And avocados, I use those as a fat substitute for butter when I can't get butter. It'll work, but it doesn't. Avocados don't give me the stable energy and the satisfaction like butter does. Found that multiple different experiments, like combining avocado with other things by itself, doesn't give me stable energy like butter. Butter is superior for fat. One weird thing is I'm getting acid reflux randomly now, and the acid reflux may be because I've been increasing or overstuffing the amount of food I've been eating, because I'm trying to bulk up in weight and muscle and everything. So I think the super influx of food that I'm eating now compared to my portions like a couple months ago. Now I think when I eat before bed and try to force it in, like I think the acid is coming up a little bit in the esophagus because there's just so much in the stomach. In my meals, it's just way bigger. I've also been eating tomato with my meals as well because I had heard it's a fruit and you can eat those interchangeably with a lot of food. So I don't know if that's contributing. I know it's kind of tomatoes and acid at first, but I don't know if that's attributing to acid reflux. I'll have to figure that out. And also it's possible that I'm eating way too much red meat. I probably eat 90% of my diet. It's like red meat, and then 10% is white meat, chicken or fish. Maybe it's too much red meat, but I'll have to figure that out. Experiment. And then the big thing with stamina, I want stamina and energy levels to be super increased and long lasting when I'm doing exercise, because I hate the fact that I'm still kind of the same stamina level. That's kind of getting to me. I thought I'd have a little bit more muscle stamina, cardio stamina, like all around. And that's what I want. So I can just destroy workouts for a longer or short period of time, depending on the intensity, and not have to take as many big breaths and things like that. It can go as long as I want, basically. It's gotten a little better, but I can't confidently say stamina and energy has gotten better as far as exercise. Okay, that was all the big points. I'm gonna give myself a second to think of anything else. Oh yes, almost forgot the baths, the hot baths. So I've been trying to do the hot baths. It's a new thing I've been incorporating, those hot baths, into this 3-month window from May to August. And first time I tried the hot bath, I did the milk, apple cider vinegar, and salt combination in the hot bath. Got the temp of the bath around 106, 108 most of the time, which is probably a little too high, but I said, screw it. I'm gonna go big. And then, so I mixed all the ingredients in there, and then I jumped in, and I swear I only lasted like 10 minutes. And I just started having anxiety. And I just was like, I gotta get out of here. This is too hot. It was too much for my body, I think, detoxing. For the weight that I'm at, I think I'm a little too low fat percentage. Like some other people are saying on the Primal diet, you gotta be a little fat to do it. So you can take on bigger detoxes, and your fat binds to those toxins easier when you have more fat, and less like free radical toxins, I guess, because you'll have more fat to bind with those and get them out of the body and the skin. From what I've read, that's what I understand. And I think I'm just too thin right now. I'm still like 150, 155, 5'9". And I tried the bath a second time with the clay, apple cider vinegar, and once I put that in, I was like, okay, maybe it was just the milk mixture. So I tried it again. Same thing happened. Lasted like 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, I think I'm too thin right now. So I'm gonna try to gain some weight so I can take more baths, because they're freaking relaxing if you can actually stay in them. And I will get back on the next report. And hopefully I weigh enough to do the baths and report on them, because I really want to do them. Yeah, I think that's it. yeah, I guess I'll have to report back if I think of anything else, of course. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. All right, check back in with you guys in 3 months, hopefully. See ya.